in his commentary on this Pushpavachan, flowery words, so that this verse, it says, if you're not crying, if tears are not coming when you're chanting Hare Krishna mantra, that means that your heart is steel-framed. So in the commentaries and tikas on that Bhagavatam verse in second canto, it says that this is a glorification of the holy name. It says that the holy name is so powerful that one will experience sattvic vikars. Sattvic vikar means one will come to, it's a glory of the holy name, means you will come to the state, by chanting Hare Krishna, you will come to the stage of bhav. On the stage of bhav, then if you go high in the stage of bhav, there's different levels of bhav, of bhakti. In the beginning, maybe not experiencing these symptoms, because when you read the 9 symptoms of bhava and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it doesn't mention anything about crying. It says Kalyart, it says utilizing every moment in Krishna's service, Nam Ruchi, have taste for the holy name, then Sadaruchi, and then Pritis Mathura Vasastale, to have love for living in Mathura Mandala, to have love for living in Mathura Mandala. And these 9 symptoms are there. So nothing about crying and trembling and tears shooting out of your eyes. So there may be a Bhava Bhakta, and then someone said, oh, I never saw him crying, he's not a Bhava Bhakta. Maybe he doesn't cry in public. Most devotees, they try not to make any obvious public displays of that. That's the general culture of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. Everything is rahasya. So therefore, this verse is saying no crying. So the commentaries are saying that it's a glorification. It glorifies. It's a glorifying of the holy name, and it's not literal, because someone may be on a level of bhav and he's chanting Hare Krishna, not crying. He's always chanting day and night Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. He says, Nam Sadaruchi, always has a taste, and always chanting Hare Krishna. So then if you take that back to the devotee who's thinking, oh, I'm chanting Hare Krishna for 20 years and I'm not crying, I must be offending. Maybe not. And then further in the Tika it said, some devotees by nature are very soft-hearted and very sentimental, so they will easily cry. They'll easily cry. Just like when there's a story of I think Raghunath Bhatta. It's 500 years ago in Sevakunj at Radha-Damodara Mandir, in that Sevakunj area. Raghunath Bhatta was speaking the Bhagavatam. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him to speak the Bhagavatam. So he was speaking the Bhagavatam, and Rupa Goswami was sitting there in the audience listening. And many devotees were listening. So many devotees, they were crying, because they were very elevated devotees, and they were experiencing ecstasy and hearing this amazing Rasakatha from the lips of the Rasik Jan, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. But Rupa Goswami was totally inert. It appeared that he was unconscious or maybe sleeping. And everyone was amazed. Everyone is experiencing great ecstasy. Rupa Goswami is not showing any signs of ecstasy. So someone took some little piece of cotton, they went to his nose, and hardly was moving. So some very advanced devotee there, sadhu, said, everyone here is crying or trembling, hair standing in from the katha, but he has gone to the 9th stage. He has gone into the 9th stage of Astasattvic Vikars, or 8th, I guess, Asta. The 8th stage of transformation, ecstasy, pralaya. He's become practically unconscious. He's actually entered the lila as Rupa Manjari and left this body, practically totally left his body and had lila pravesh, so he's not registering any ecstatic symptoms in his sadhaka roop because he's not even in his sadhaka roop. Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai. So he's not crying. He's making offenses. Is he making a? You must be steel framed if you're not crying when you're hearing Hari Katha or chanting Hare Krishna. So I'm citing these extraordinary examples that what if you take it another way around? I'm not an offender. Like you read these books in the business field of how to be successful. Say, look in the mirror before you go to work in the morning. I'm a success. I'm friendly. I won't get angry with any of my employees. I'll be very fair and kind to them. And they always criticize me as being like counts, but I'm going to be very, very sweet and gentle. And you're driving to work. I'm going to be very sweet and gentle. You get to work. It's your svabha, it's your nature. You can't change. So let's take it another way around. That you're not offending, you're just very sincere and seriously doing your service. And to seriously do your service, sometimes you have to yell or scream or maybe slap. Were you ever a mother? And you should say yes. And say, do you seriously love your daughter? Yes. Do you love her like anything for your whole life? Yes. So did you ever slap her? Yes. Did you ever cuddle her? And the answer, of course, is yes. So all these things are, and every single expression towards your daughter is an expression of love. Because the stairati, the permanent mood of love towards your daughter is fixed. I have mamata for this living entity. She's mine. She's my daughter. I love her. I'll do anything for her. So the same thing. Look inside your heart. Don't just let's say modern terms. Don't just scan the surface of your mind, because the mind will say all nonsense things. You're a bad devotee. You're an offender. Maybe the mind is like. What did Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati say about the mind? Do you know? He said, "Do you know the mind? You must be knowing. When you wake up in the morning, you take one shoe, chappal, juta, and you beat your mind 100 times. Listen, mind, now you just stay down and be quiet all day. Don't bother me. Don't talk any nonsense. Don't make any weird suggestions. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm a devotee. I love my family. I love my husband. I love Vaishnavas. I love my guru. I love Krishna. I'm doing bhakti. Now just shut up. Pop, 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 pop. And you beat him down. And then at the end of the night, before you take rest, because you dream all these weird things, really crazy stuff. So then you take a stick. In the morning, a shoe is good enough. At night, you need a lati, because you can't, at least during the day, you can control your mind a little bit. But when you're sleeping, you have no control. You're subconscious, out of control, out of control. The mind takes you for a ride. So then you take a lati and really smash your mind 100 times. Ta, 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 ta. So then you chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Listen to some lila and a tape, fall asleep. Oh, nice.